I agreed to all of their demands, and then wake up this morning and they send out a letter saying how much they love the First Amendment and freedom of speech, and they're so committed to it. But we're just canceling her anyway.
So what does that mean exactly? They're canceling it. That means they're not allowing you to speak there, these supporters of the First Amendment?
Well, we'll find out if they arrest me when I show up to give my speech.
Well, joining me now to talk about all that is happening in Washington, D.C., border security, the spending bill, Democratic obstructionism, much more, political commentator, syndicated columnist, best-selling author, Ann Coulter, and extraordinary public speaker. She's also the author of the New York Times bestseller, In Trump We Trust. You're even more extraordinary when permitted to speak. The Berkeley situation, I thought you handled it masterfully.
Thank you. I would have preferred to have spoken.
Well, as would all of America.
Yes, because the speech was on immigration, and half of the North American media was coming in for it.
Well, shame on Berkeley and shame on the fascist left.
Yes, don't send your kids to college.
Well, at least certainly not, well.
I think any college. Take the SATs, get all your college acceptance letters, and present those to your employer. Everyone knows you don't learn anything at college anymore. Save yourself $200,000.
Well, where were you when I needed you? My wife and I would have, no. I would just,
okay, but
I want all my children to know I'm thrilled.
Ask them if they learned anything.
Absolutely. Well, I know they learned something. What? I better not go into what. My sons can still whip me, and as well as my daughters. Let me turn first to the president. He was off put, to say the least, that the Democrats and Senator Schumer are declaring victory on a bipartisan effort to avoid a government shutdown. I mean, how low can the Democrats go, and why is it that most of us, I think, are pretty assured that they can go quite a bit lower?
Yes, and it's much easier when no one's fighting back, which is what we have in Congress. I mean, reading through what is in this budget, it was like a joke. How would this have been any different if it was a majority Democrat Senate, a majority Democrat House, and Hillary Clinton in the White House, including they prohibit Trump's Justice Department from enforcing federal law against marijuana dispensaries.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, is this the wish list from Nancy Pelosi's district? It's madness. And look, Trump knows more about a lot of things than I do. One thing I know more about than he does is how Washington works. And he better learn fast that everyone in that town, except maybe one person working for him, is working against him. They'll smile, they'll shake his hand, and they go back to their offices and do everything they can to undermine him. I might add, I pointed this out in the first column after he became president. He's supposed to be this great negotiator, and I got some tricks for him.
Well, before we get to the tricks, let's go to the program. I mean, who are you most concerned about amongst those who work for him in the White House? Are there any special personalities, or is it just a broad view?
May I return to my intemperate remarks
Surely.
about the Green Room? I think I'd warn 3 people in Washington before dropping a neutron bomb, and oh man, the country would be great.
You know, and the president had not only made a promise, he made a great motto out of drain the swamp.
Right.
But one of the things I see people getting exercise, it's a fascinating thing to me, and I sense a little bit of, and if I'm being unfair, tell me, but I sense a little of it in you. And that is impatience with a man who has already turned the status quo upside down in the first 3 months of his presidency. And you've got the national left-wing media clacking, saying, well, why hasn't he done this, and why does he do this? Every little thing he says or does is analyzed on 8 pages and then turned into a personal attack by the left-wing media. Meanwhile, all he's doing is legislating. All he is doing is moving forward with his agenda, rolling back regulations from the Obama administration, powering through 2 pipelines in one day that Obama fought for 5 years. It's an extraordinary change of direction and the conversation, as I've said.
I would say the best change was accomplished by the campaign itself.
It gave us President Trump. I agree with you.
Right, but it also raised issues that neither political party would address. It exposed my party, the Republican Party, as frauds, pretending to care about the working class and the middle class. And no, in fact, all they care about is a tax cut for Wall Street. I'm not sure, as president, we're really getting all those promises yet. Oh, to name one off the top of my head, the wall. How about the wall, Lou? Why didn't we start building that November 9th?
It would be terrific had we been able to, but as you know, as you're self-certified, you are extraordinarily knowledgeable about how Washington works. He's got to have an appropriation, and that means he doesn't. He's got to, well, yes, he does.
No, he does not. He is the commander-in-chief. It is his job to protect the borders. It is not his job, by the way, to protect Ukraine's borders.
And create...
He has a Department of Defense. He has a Department of Homeland. He should have been down there with a spade and a hard hat on November 9th, starting the wall.
And let's talk about your new book. What's the title of it?
Well, in the paperback edition, it will be In Trump Is